No, because my dad lost a job because of the depression, and he had to move. So he picked up all the family, and he came until I was born the day before that we left. That's the God's honest truth. Came to Manitowish, and there we got their place. He got a house for us because of an old friend from Wausau, where he was from, and he got a place. And I can tell you from then on, when we first got there, we had a hard time. But my father was a hard worker and made it. He made it good. And I have to laugh. You want to talk about things? In them days, we had to have meat on the front and we had to have vegetables on the table. Didn't have no money. We got out. Every time he walked down the railroad track with a stiff leg, he had a rifle in there. And he had venison on the end of it. That's the God's honest truth. And he'd come down, and when he cut up that deer, he'd go over to the farmer that was next to us. He didn't. They were friends, a good friend for years. Gerlach, his name was. I so loaded up with my wagon that I had, one of the things that they didn't take away from them, with venison. And I'd go across the country, the field, to go over to their place with a big farm for them days. I give his wife the venison. When I was going to turn around to go back, she'd say, "Come here." We'd go down in the fruit cellar down.
Absolutely sorry. I was just like, mine is just, it kept cutting out.
Well, I don't know what. After that, that's.
You were
basically, or I got you. I was only when we moved from there to I was 7 years old.
And your dad built Circle Lily with friends.
Yeah.
And then you moved from that house to Circle Lily.
No, the house that I moved in there wasn't built by friends. That was built by a friend. That wasn't built by a friend. That was put together by a friend because part of it was two boxcars that we lived in, plus the building of the bar. And we had a bar there. He's the guy who put that in. But he got out of there, and we got Circle Lily. And that's where I spent for, I don't know how many years. I'm trying to think. I can't remember.
Good many years.
Good many years. And that's where I went to. I was the first one not the first one, one of the last ones in Manitowish School. School was in Manitowish, not Mercer. I was in that, and then they transferred us, and I had to go to Mercer School.
Was that before or after your mom quit teaching school?
That was after.
After?
That was after she got done. You wouldn't think it when I come home, but that's but that was after.
She quit teaching school, and you went to Manitowish versus Manitowish Waters after that.
No, that's not Manitowish. It's still Manitowish.
It was the only school.
Manitowish Waters was
nothing.
No, it was Spider Lake.
Gotcha.
That was of the lakes up there. And that was, it was never, then later on it was called Manitowish Waters because of all the lakes.
Sue?
Yeah. I think oh, shit.
Thank you.
They're all buying.
Sorry, Dad.
Because Loyal could walk with them long legs like. like, he's skinny and long. He was 6 foot.
Right. He could
2 or
run.
3.
He could walk faster
he could
than you.
walk faster than I could run. And he'd go along a little bit, and in them days, if you didn't think of bears, little kids, they'd remind you of all the bears in there. And kids didn't like that idea. So you run to beat hell if you could.
Gotta go, gotta go.
That's the God's honest truth. He used to laugh about it.
Oh, I'm sure your brother did. I'm sure he had fun with his little brother.
But and after a while, after that little while, the CC camp came in. And that was only a quarter of a mile down the road. A little over a quarter of a mile down the road, that was a little camp. And I could go there anytime I wanted to go. I could see movies and that they had for the boys there.
Was that the CC camp?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they've got every week. They got different, just about every week. They got different movies that come from different camps around.
Well, and what does the CC camp stand for?
Civilian Conservation
Corps.
Conservation Corps, right.
So it was just something that the president set up to take care of those people that were coming back from war, right?
No, that was a setup for workers that couldn't get jobs.
Because of the Depression.
And they could...
Because of the Depression.
Well, and they were causing trouble. A lot of them were causing trouble in the cities. And
so they gave them a place to go.
They got a place to go.
All right, go over there. Don't cause any more trouble.
Good food, clothes, and all that.
So it was the Depression era that the CC camps came out.
That's it. And I was with that for a while. And I played with all of them just like they were brothers, older brothers. They didn't give a damn. They'd all come to the bar, because Circularity was a bar. And a certain one come down, come on, you got to come Tuesday, because something Western, we're going to have a Western movie. And it was always in the mess hall. That's where they had the movies.
So you'd hang out with the guys there, even though you weren't part of them. They'd come and invite you.
I was never part of it.
Right, but they'd come and invite you to come and join them.
But they always, and my mom for a while would say, don't worry about it, Clara, we'll take care of him, and the bear ain't going to get him. Things like that. Because our first one, there's a creek in between, no circular creek one in between there. Well, you just those little ass with the fastest I could do to get across there. Then you were in a bar, in our land.
Right.
And oh yeah, that's. And as far as things went, I got older. I did things that, and when you lived in a bar as long as I did, you do things.
You got a little sassy?
What?
You got a little sassy?
Yeah. Well, you just do. That's like when Uncle Lloyd come up. You brought that one up. When he was the only guy I could see. He could take a Model A car. See, we had 2 trees right in the front where we used to hang deer in the hunting season. They're across there, and the 2 deers were just that, but they had just the width of a Ford,
Model V Ford.
And yeah, and they'd turn around. If they didn't put it close enough, he would. He could lift up this end, put it over there. He could go behind it himself. Lift up that end.
Just keep moving it.
Out to the tavern, if you didn't watch it, that was plugged right in between them 2 trees. Now you get it out of there.
Which ain't gonna happen unless you get somebody to help you.
That's right. Oh, that happened a lot. Oh yeah. And we had a successful living there. Pa made it and Ma made it.
And Mom used to help everybody with the soup kitchen, right? Is that
Right.
what? Mom used to help everybody with the soup kitchen. Your grandma, right? She used to help everybody when they didn't have money to pay for things, and she'd still give them soup during the Depression.
Oh, that was useful. It was used, helped more. By the time the Depression was getting over, tell the truth, the old man made enough selling moonshine and under that we could live. If you want to know, that's the actual truth. And when I was a young'un, about 6, 7 years old and that, 5 years old I think I started, and that, we'd go to Chicago.
He run
And my dad
moonshine down to
always- My dad
Chicago.
always had to find a way to get a new car, and he had it. And he'd turn around, we'd go along and fill the car up, and then my mother would put quilts and stuff across the top of it like this, you know. And when Hoyle went, he sat in the front seat. Otherwise, he didn't go. I laid on top of them. On top of the quilts. And if you got stopped by the cops for any reason or other, I'm taking my son down to a doctor in Chicago.
So you were the sacrificial lamb.
That's the way it was. And he made a success.
It worked, right?
It worked for him. Yeah.
Okay, so what about when you were being a tour guide,
Well, I was a fishing guide.
fishing guide? Sorry.
Oh yeah, for years. I started that. I'm probably one of the youngest guys to ever get a. See, in them days you had to get a pin from the state. I think I paid $1 for it. Everybody did. Who guided could take people out on the water, and I wished I'd have saved them, but I don't know what the hell happened. But oh yes, I did that for, I guess, about 20 years or better.
And who did you take out on the boat?
Who did I take out? We come to the house and I got some papers where I was.
I heard once you told me when I was young that you took out Gypsy Lee Rose.
Yeah, well, there was a picture of on the state map. You know, state map issues of her holding a musket, and I was supposed to be. I was with her, had one, and so was a cop. Well, the game warden. You know, he was there too.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Well, when they put it on the paper, on the whatchamacallit, and put it in the paper, I was off. I was none.
That part was cut off.
Yeah. That was Gypsy Rose Lee. She came in with her son and stayed in Winchester. And who got the... I kept alive the head cop for Chicago. He was in Milwaukee, not Chicago. The attorney, you know, the head attorney. We got him to this day. But he was such a goddamn drunk that you couldn't keep him in a boat to keep him on the dock. He knew every stone on the water. So.
Oops.
Oh man, he knew every stone on the water. I'd go in, go along, get him out, and I'd get in. You had to be close, like that. And they had the attorney for all the attorneys. They always had to get together for a year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that at Furner's Resort. And I guided in there, and I guided him all the time. Every year with,
Turner's?
yeah. Right on them?
Not Little Bohemia.
No,
Turner's. Where was Turner's?
What?
Where was Turner's? I don't remember that.
Right at the bridge that goes across where our house was.
Mm-hmm.
That bridge.
Oh, it was right there?
That was, see, we bought it.
Gotcha.
My dad bought that land from Turner, where we built that house.
Gotcha.
That was all
Right
Turner's.
across the street there. That was Turner's
All the
right
way
there
around
on that.
bay.
Gotcha.
That was Kerner's. And he was the old man. Kerner came there, but he was a big shot in Madison.
Gotcha.
That's how he got his ways too.
But that's where your mom and dad
Yeah,
bought the property
that's where
from.
he bought the property.
Was from Turner because he knew them from Circle Lily.
And anyway, that was the way that came about. And he was, telling you, when he got out of the boat, I was in the boat, but he always had two deputies with that they sent with him, you know, as bodyguards. But most 95% of the time, them bastards would put up on the bank up there and laugh. And it was me that I had to grab a hold of him.
And pull him out of the boat.
No, I'd get him out of the boat. But he knew there was a tavern there, and he knew there was a tavern there, and he knew the one in the... And he'd go stomping around there. I had to grab him, get him back to, otherwise we'd walk right off the dock. And he did one time. That's right. But you know, I was a lot of good guys. In fact, years later, I had a guy that got mother and I. He was a Jewish boy, and I laughed. It was a deal. And I wanted to buy a new house. That's what I wanted to do. That was when when we were in Menasha there, in that area. I wanted to buy a new house, and they turned me down because I had bought a new car.
You can't buy a new car and a new house.
And anyway, I got there, and when I can't remember. I'm trying to think of his name. This Jewish boy he was also the head of the army, head of the soldiers in Madison. He was number one.
Like the VFW or something.
No, the government.
The government, like the CIA.
I forgot. I had to get him out for that.
Okay.
Anyway, after I got done, because I guided him for a year, and because he was a colonel, and I used to offer him colonel, you know, a high colonel, and everything else. And he said, "Okay, corporal, let's go." To me, because I was a corporal in the army.
Right.
And he said, "Come on, old corporal, come on," and we're going. He was a pretty good fisherman too. But anyway, he had deals like that, and sure, let's go. I remember the time when he caught, I don't know, we caught one or two muskies, and he said, "Throw that one in." I says, "He's legal." You know.
Throw that one back.
He said, "Don't throw him in." I said, "See, that was all Jewish in that resort at that time." And he turned around. I said, "Well, some of them guys up there ain't got no fish, you know that." He says, "They're too goddamn lazy, them kikes." And he hollered out, "They're too damn lazy, them kikes. Let them go get their own. Throw it away." And anyway, later on, when I was buying his house, he turned around. This guy was a local guy that refused me the money because I could trade in my car. get rid of that brand new car you bought. I mean, you don't have to have the money from the government. But it so happened that this guy bought right next to where my mother's dad, on the end of the lake there, where we had our house.
Right.
Right down there was him. See?
Which side?
He bought this same the hook around there, and that was his. And Ma and her got along real good. Ma helped her a lot. Did some cleaning for her and stuff like that. She was used to doing stuff. Anyway, come around. I think this guy won't do nothing. He's a town there in the county. So I don't know if he was, but he was. And this guy was state. He was the number one man. Ma and I, Wheels are down there. Wheels and gets hold of him. Ma starts talking. We started talking. He says, "Oh yeah." I give him the whole tour. In fact, he was having it. I had to go find him. I went to his house down there, and he was having his car taken care of. And they told me where he was. So we go down there. I told him about the guy won't give me the money because I've got a new car, and he told me I had to trade that car in. Sell that car, and then you can get the money to buy a house. Oh, is that what he said? I said, yeah, I've got proof, yeah. He talked to him, that's mine. Turn around. That's mom, she could write. This is sitting on a Standard Oil by the deal there in the garage, not a garage, but where they fix cars.
Garage, repair. Garage.
Yeah, repair, And he turned around. Sure, she said, so Mom, we'll get a lot of the writing on it, He says, I'm trying to think of the guy's name too, both names. It's been so many years. But anyway,
that's a long time ago. Long time ago.
Yeah.
It's before I was born.
Anyway, we there. Oh, that's what he said, yeah. You go around, you go back, you wait for how many days, and you go. And then he wrote a letter to him. He wrote a letter addressed to him. He says, you go down and you take this to him. Oh, I did. In fact, it was for a meeting for some meeting, and I give it to him, and this colonel, we were good friends, honest to Christ. And he turned around and he says, I didn't know you knew him. Colonel Glassner. His name was Glassner. Colonel Glassner. I didn't know you knew. Oh yeah, we're good friends. Oh yeah? Well, he said, this is a different situation.
That changes things.
We got a house. Just like that. I think I made a little mistake here. And this Colonel Glassner
all done.
Was the head guy for the state. He had a colonel's rank in the army. So that's how we got one of the houses.
All right, we're going to take a
40. I don't know, early 40s. When I graduated from high school. I can't remember yet. But anyway, we went down. My dad took me down. Loyal went to first year. He went to college. He went to Northland, in Ashland. But he could run. He was such a good Well, he could beat the goddamn people in running shoes. Kelly could put boots on. He could beat all the guys out that were out there trying to. He could too, because when he got there with the old man, they were watching.
He was fast.
To practice, going around.
He was fast.
What, you call that fast? He said, I could run faster than any of them bastards. Well, he said, you'll have to come and get some shoes. Yeah, he said, I don't need no shoes. I can beat them with the shoes I got on. And he meant it too. Well, anyway, he did beat him. But the next year he wasn't at Northland anymore. He went to University of Wisconsin. And
Moved right up the food chain.
And it was not encounter. He was too bright a student.
No, but your brother was fast.
Oh, you ain't kidding. He was smart too, but he went there, but he didn't stay there because that's when the government took over him. And they took over a whole bunch of them guys at that time. And he got transferred first to Michigan with a bunch of sport guys. And then they got to Michigan State, I think. But he didn't. He got to University of Colorado. That's where he got sent to. The Army sent him there, not the government, not.
The Army sent him there.
Yeah. And he turned around, well, no. But he could do any goddamn thing as far as run. Oh, good. But anyway, and from then,
so that was.
I went to Northland. See, Pop put me in Northland, but I was not a good student.
You bad boy, you.
And I couldn't run. That's to tell the truth.
Well, your brother was much taller than you.
Yeah, he was.
You got the short jeans. He got the tall jeans.
He's the same as a tall one here, slim.
6 foot.
Huh?
6 foot.
Oh yeah, he was about 6'3". But he wasn't. He was. He could. If he didn't go and fight, he could run away from you. I'll tell you that. But he got in the Army. They sent him out. That's how he got into. One of the first ones to get into Australia and that stuff. That was him.
Well, and that's when
But
he
me,
sent. That's when he sent all
I-
the stuff back to your grandma, your mom, my grandma, your mom from Japan and stuff, right? Didn't he send some stuff from Japan and
He got
stuff?
married in Japan.
Oh, he did.
But he married a white girl, When in the United States, that worked for the government.
That was Aunt Billy, right?
Billy.
Yeah.
And Billy was smart. But she went worked for the government of the United States during World War II. And I think it was 13 or 14 different between Europe and Tokyo and all that stuff, where she got sent to do things. She was smart. Yeah, that's where Ma got the stuff. But I wasn't that smart. I got in the Army, but they didn't give a shit where I went. In fact, they put me in there all right. But I took a forward step in Minneapolis. That's where they make you take that forward step. I was there. Then I went. Well, they goddamn near killed me in the hospital.
What happened?
They give me. I'm trying to think after I was the old lady again.
Some antibiotic or something.
No, it was a tournament. It was a. Well, they give everybody the goddamn thing. Supposed to be.
A shot.
Oh shit! They were supposed to do everything for everybody, you know. And it was very famous medicine, but I was allergic to it.
Scarlet fever.
I was allergic to it.
Whatever it was, right.
Well, she'd tell you right away.
Right.
And I turned around, got that, kept on going. And I went to work. They got me out of there. So they kept me in camp. And
Keep filming. Keep talking. Keep talking.
so they kept me in Texas, Fort Hood. They kept me in Fort Hood. I went to school in another fort. That what they were supposed to have, what they had was it was a specialty in food and butchering and everything that runs up. So
A butcher shop.
I got that, and then they sent me back to Fort Hood.
To take care of.
And they graduated me when I got in the hospital in Fort Hood. They graduated me the next time with a discharge.
Not so much. We're done. We're done with you.
Yeah, and that's part of it.
Gotcha.
But they didn't do nothing wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Right, no. Just, they didn't forward you. They didn't do anything.
I put a
just
re-up. I was there when we had a general that come out there real big about any of you want to re-up and go with me to over fighting the Chinese over there. But I didn't figure on fighting the Chinese if I didn't have to.
You're
That's
like,
the truth.
never mind. You're good.
And so I took them. I and two guys from Michigan that were also went in the same time I did. They didn't want to go either, and one of them had a car. When we got our paper from the whatchamacallit, we headed right straight north. And the first stop we had was just in the Oklahoma side. We got drunk. And in the second place we went to one of the guys had an uncle that had a Christmas garden, Christmas tree deal, you know, in Chicago.
Selling Christmas trees or whatever.
Selling Christmas trees. Well, we had to go see Uncle, so I forgot what the hell his name was. We was in there, so here we are, put on our uniform, we're selling Christmas trees. We made a little money out there selling Christmas trees. And I got up there, and they dropped me off by Loyal in Oshkosh. Loyal had a tavern there.
I didn't know Uncle Lowell had a tavern.
Sure, in Oshkosh. With him and Billy.
Well, I knew they lived in Oshkosh. You know,
What?
I knew they lived in Oshkosh from everything you said. I just didn't know they had a tavern.
Oh, yeah. That's a story in itself, too. He's the only guy I ever saw that he had buddies that were younger buddies out of the army, too, that had taverns or was with. One night I'm there and I'm tending bar for them. I used to tend bar for them. All of a sudden, a car comes in with the light going on like that, red light, and I said, "No, what the hell did we do around here?" And I goes to the back. It stopped back there. I said, "I better find out something. I don't know. They'll probably after me. I don't know.
Something's going on,
Something's
right?
going on." They didn't. I got to the back door. The cops opened the door. 2 cops. There they had Loyal and they slid him in on the floor. Honest, that's right. They said, no, keep him here for a while. We don't want to see him. They took him like this and slid him right in on the floor. Oshkosh cop.
Slid him in and said, here, he's yours.
Yeah.
Keep him here for a while.
Yeah, that's what it is. They did. We don't want to see him.
Yeah. We don't want to arrest him, but we don't want to have anything to do with him, so you take care of him right now.
You don't let him out of here. Oh, that was part of it too.
That's funny.
No, but in the other parts,
But back then, it was okay.
yeah,
Back then, it was okay. That's what they did.
yeah.
They took you home and had your family take care of you. They didn't
No, no.
prosecute or whatever. They took you home and said,
Oh, that worked.
right?
It worked. But I was kind of shaky when
When
it
that
did
happened.
work.
Yeah.
No. Oh, things like that, you know. As far as
So how did you meet Mom?
at his bar, my brother's bar.
Mm-hmm. That's how you first met her?
Huh? That's where a buddy of mine and I were talking about going to California. You know, I'm gonna drive to California. We were both single. We ain't getting rich in Oshkosh,
Right.
you know.
We should maybe think about a different plan.
Well, this one gal, I knew her, and Joanne was her friend. But the guy he knew her too. And I didn't know it. He went and made her date. It was in Fond du Lac, from Oshkosh. He said, come on, you'll be here at Richmond. I said, what for? He said, I need somebody for a double date. And that's where I met your mother. Right there.
The double date.
Yeah, I didn't date her until after that.
Right. But there was the double date.
Yeah.
The guy said, no, you're coming with me.
Come on, you're coming with me, and I got a date for you. you know that.
Right, right.
That's how it started. Honest, help me. Yeah, no. And I don't know, first, trying to think, I can't think of dates no more. I know. when I
Dates
had-
don't matter.
What?
Dates don't matter, Papa. Dates don't matter. Just keep going with the story.
We had some theories. And then when we went up north, and then when Loyal and I didn't ever get along too good together.
But you were working for him.
But
But you were working
oh
for
yeah,
him.
he put me to work because he didn't know what the hell to do with me. He didn't want to kick me out on the street. That's the reason I got it.
But
But anyway, when I got up north, I was working and cutting bar for the old man. That's the way old man had Circle Lily. And him and Loyal never got along because Loyal was the first to take over Circle Lily, but what he wanted, the old man didn't want.
so there's a butting of heads between
So they
your
are-
dad and your brother.
That's-
And then there was a butting of heads between you and your brother.
Yeah, that's honest. I just turned
Boys will
around-
do that.
I turned around and we talked about it. And then we got, the old man said, that 40 over there, you guys, I'll sell it to you. Oh, sure. Why not? Both of us had to go to the bank and get money. We didn't have enough money, but we did. But we could get money out of him. He could too, evidently, because he got it. And I got the money, I was working. And then we got in a fight about it, got an argument. You're doing this and I'm doing this and how I want to do it and everything else. The old man said one day to us, he said, one of you guys buy out the other because you'll never get the get along together. One of you buy it. We'll pay the other. All right. I turned around. I forgot what it was, but half of it. My dad see to it that he was, and I offered to get a loan. I'll pay your half. Buy it. The lawyer couldn't get it. He couldn't get the loan. He had too much money borrowed already. And so I turned around. Okay. I bought him out. That's when I got that lot where the cabin where that shack was.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got the friends again after that. And he hunted with us and he did a lot of things. In fact, he danced on our roof when I built that, what's we call the cabin in there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We were putting the roof on the goddamn thing. And when he wanted something, he got it. He said, I'm going to help you put on that roof. Well, on a friendly side, not a... And all of a sudden he had one of them attacks from diabetes. He looked up and here he is dancing.
That's not good.
No, this ain't going to work. And I didn't want to go up there because he tried to throw me off. But Ma was different.
She went up there and got him.
Oh, she got the right guidance to go up there and get him. And he come down. She told him, don't you go up there until I tell you to. You know, Ma did. Well, we didn't. That's how that worked out. And I sold that. And I think that was a mistake. But we all make mistakes. Then I bought a tavern down the street. But I started being a printer. The thing about going to college, I did have one good thing. They had a print house shop there that they did their own printing. And I liked that. And I also got paid. You also got paid when you went in the print shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I worked in the print shop. Good. And I thought I liked it. But I still wasn't getting good grades. But the guy who didn't like me was an English teacher, you see. But his wife was an English teacher also. But his wife was technically his, I don't know if it was or not, but she was the boss.
She was above him.
And yeah, and he made, and he was kicking me out. He was going to get rid of me and get the hell out of here. But she said, no, he stays. And I stayed for a while longer, and I would have got to have a job someplace. That's how I got into Montes. And in
Montes,
America, you know.
Was your first printing job, right?
Printing job, sure.
Yeah.
I went in there. I had, and
First job in the printing industry.
the nice thing about it, the guy who hated me when in college, he was a graduate of Montes. He was head of their print shop a lot. And his wife worked for him too. And he turned around and they sent for him to give him what do you think? He's a kid. Can we use him? You
Right.
know?
Will this work?
And yep, and he gave me a good
Recommendation. Right. Sweet.
And that's how I got that job in Bonnet. And I worked hard, but then I did my things. But I don't know.
All right. We're going to break for now, Dad.